Yo, special welcome to Extra Time here in Soccerbet Studios. And we're excited because it's been a very, very exciting week, equally controversial. And all of it has been about the athletics, the Africa Senior Athletics Championship being hosted here in Accra, the University of Ghana Stadium. It has come with quite some controversy. And for those of you who have had the time to go to the stadium to watch the events, of course, you've also had some exciting scenes to behold. Ghana so far, we haven't had a podium finish so far. I think the expectation was on the 100-meter sprinters, Rashid Saminu, Joe Paul Amwa, Edwin Gadayi. We're hoping that they can get a podium finish, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Even the ladies also did not work out well. So far, I think the only competition we are in at the moment is the 4x100 relay. Because as at the time we are recording this, I think that event is going to happen later tonight. We're recording this on Thursday, so I think it's going to happen later tonight. So let's see how many medals we'll get. But the bigger conversation has been the organization of the event. The organization of the event. Athletes have had their polls broken, the poll vote event, and questions have arisen whether they were the ones who brought those materials or it was provided by the organizers. Especially timing, when the athletes are done running, they are wondering what time did I finish? That has been a major challenge at this event. And there's also been talks about food, something as big as their food. There have been issues surrounding it also. So we're going to be talking about that. And a bit of EPL. There's a FA Cup final happening. And Manchester United say they are keeping Michael Carrick. Is it a good decision out a mess they are about to create for themselves? So we'll get to talk about that. There's also the Premier League Best Player of the Year that has been released, Coach of the Year that has been released. The contenders have been released. We'll get to talk about all of that on the show. So a big welcome to Kwame Benaya. The Fiamako is already angry because he say he bought the way they do the championship. No, we know they be on. So he bought. So as he come here, he bought. He just the is the word chaco or something like that? Is it chaco? That's what. Yeah. Is that the word?
What they vex me like Charlie?
What they vex you? What they vex you? You say what?
The phone day.
The phone was tired.
Yes, he talks say they see him phone. I don't ask and say so. We phone they take tweet. Think of the things. I say, hey.
Charlie.
Man. Plenty to joy is also here. Yeah. He's been at the games. He's been at the games all the days that the event have been unfolding.
He's the guy whose phone was seized.
Yeah. Reported that his phone was seized.
Yeah.
And
snatched from my hands.
Yeah, it was snatched from his hands.
The village, like by now, and they didn't call him grandpa and uncle.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting episode. Petty, you want to tell us the story of what happened?
No, I don't.
Charlie, tell me that. No.
I don't want to talk about it.
But where were you? Where were you when
tell
it
us
happened?
what happened? Tell us what happened.
So, we received an invite from one of the LOC members to go and look at the food that were being served to the athletes in the game village. So we went there. We were also given coupons to eat the food ourselves. So we went to the games village at the University of Ghana Diaspora Halls. That's where it's happening. So we went there to check out the lunch that was served to the athletes as well as officials. And we got there. The first thing was to see how the atmosphere is and also look at how the food looks like. Because prior to that, there was an interview that we also published on our page, which was on Joy Sports page. Aiden Smith, the shot put world record. I think he won gold. He's a gold medalist. And he made mention of the fact that the food that was served wasn't good. And he had just one chicken and all those things. So there was a lot of controversy and a lot of criticisms that were surrounding the food that was being served. So we went there. We wanted to see what was really happening and if the story that Aiden Smith was telling was true. So we went there, and the first thing we did was to take the food ourselves and also try and have a taste of it. Razak was there. And
I mentioned it. I was
there. So he took kenke, I took kenke.
In terms of the food, I mean, I saw kenke.
Yeah, it's kenke rice.
I think when it was in the afternoon, was it?
Yeah, it was in the afternoon. So lunchtime.
So there was kenke, there was rice. Was it there was white rice and stew,
Yeah.
and there was jollof.
And there was bean stew as well.
Oh, wait, so
And there was
they serve,
fish
it's
and-
like they serve breakfast and lunch or something.
So
No,
there's
no.
yes, so the athletes, of course.
Yeah, so in that period
Feed
of
the
time,
athletes.
yeah, they've just feed
morning, noon, evening.
that. Yes.
All right, so they were fed, but we got to it was the lunch period.
Yeah, it
Good.
was that
Yeah,
period,
continue.
So then we were just done eating, right? We were just done eating, and we saw
One of the officials.
from
from the Ministry of Sport.
from the Ministry of Sports walking in, and she was speaking to the caterers there and having a
Those who were
conversation.
dishing the food. Right?
Yeah. Because at the time she walked in, it seems there are a lot of athletes who were standing by who were waiting for food because the ones that was already been served has
Yeah,
finished,
yeah.
and he needed to speak to the caterers and also speak to some of the athletes to have patience
Yeah.
that they were
While
bringing
they are
more.
refilling the
They were bringing more food, and per that conversation, I just thought it wise to capture it and show that she's doing her work and that there is work being done. And she was furious as to she just turned and snatched my phone, instantly snapped it off my hands and walked away with it. And she was really, really furious about
Because
it.
she didn't want you to record.
Yeah, she didn't want me to record.
Kwashade your phone.
Yeah, she just snatched it from my hands and took it away. So we spoke to her. We followed her to the kitchen where she was speaking to the caterers to bring more food. And later on, she disclosed to us that they were really, really struggling with a lot of things, and the organization hasn't been easy. Even getting funding and money to get food for the athletes has been very, very difficult.
So they've been under a lot of pressure.
They've been under a lot of pressure. That is why she was very, very unhappy with the video. But later on, I spoke to her and everything was fine.
So were you able to record the food after?
No, I couldn't. Just then we left. Just then we left because she specifically said she doesn't want us to record the food. Yes, not just her, but
Can you tell me
the
the story?
food.
Can't-
In general,
can't
she doesn't
record
want
the food.
us to record the food.
Is she the one funding the food?
Yeah, she doesn't want us to record the food.
Is she the one funding it?
because, yeah, and at the time too, I understand her because at the time there was not enough food in the serving plates and other things. So when she got there, it seems the food that was there was little, and I think that was the reason why she wasn't happy with it because if we should have recorded that, I think it of course people would say, oh, there wasn't enough food, but there was food that was available in the kitchen and they were bringing more. So I think that maybe was the miscommunication, or she wasn't happy with.
So that was in the afternoon. Were you able to go there in the evening?
No, I was not able to go there in the evening. I had a coupon to go there in the evening, but because of what transpired there in the afternoon, I just decided not to go there in the
You
evening.
didn't want your phone snapped again.
And did she apologize for snatching the phone?
No, she didn't apologize for it. We rather apologize to her.
Can you imagine?
I rather
Actually.
apologize to her for recording the food and her being in the frame. And also for me to get my phone back, I just have to apologize to her and take the phone back. Yeah.
I mean, the more balance.
Charlie.
So basically,
Yeah.
Then you snatch my
interesting.
phone, then you go fall down crack.
Yeah.
To talk say, bugger, if you buy me new one, iPhone 17, Pro Max.
But that feeds into, and you're just talking about the food issue there.
Yeah.
Because Aiden Smith, right?
Aiden Smith, yeah.
He raised the concern about food. And for him, if you listen to him closely, a lot of things, he even spoke even more. Food was part of it.
Yeah, he
Spoke about that, the accommodation, and he said
Accommodation.
they didn't have a fridge, so they could not get cold drinks or cool drinks.
Yeah.
They would keep their stuff in there.
And
he said he didn't have a
blanket. Yeah.
And specifically on the food, he complained, and I'm sure most of you have seen the video. He complained that he was, you are only allowed to take one chicken,
Yeah.
and you can't take two, and you can't. And if you are taking fish, you're taking fish.
Fish. You can't take fish and
chicken.
chicken. Yeah.
And I think he made reference to breakfast, and he said, well, he got about one egg, and he said for him personally, he eats about 20 eggs a day. So, and because of the his event, his discipline, short put, he needs a lot of strength.
Yeah.
And
Protein.
of course, that generated a lot of debate also. Then I think fast forward. So that was on Tuesday. Then I think fast forward on Wednesday. There was a picture that also came on the Facebook of a Kenyan
Yeah.
sports platform, okay, where they had a picture of some white rice
Yeah.
and beans.
Beef stew.
White rice and bean stew. it looks like 1 spoon of bean stew and plenty rice.
Yeah.
You know, and the impression was created that that's what the athletes was being fed.
Yeah.
And of course, that also generated a lot of debate.
Yeah.
It also fed into the food conversation.
Yeah.
Now, well, what do you call it? So, when I went there on Wednesday during lunch, I saw the beans, the serving bowl that had the beans. The beans was exhausted.
Yeah.
At the time, the beans was exhausted, so it was empty. I think it was left with a little. And I also saw that the rice also, at the time, the rice also was, I think it was also minimal at the time. Now, I'm curious. I'm curious what could have occasioned that. Is it a case of, the food was finished, the athlete got there late, and the food was finished and did not get sufficient food and was told this is what is available, so if you can take it? Because based on what I saw also in the evening, that was clearly a meal from the afternoon.
Yeah.
That was a meal from the afternoon. So I'm just curious what could have occasioned that, because I saw athletes eat jollof, chicken, and salad. And they had their drink, they had water, and they had their beverage drink. All right? I saw that. And in the evening, I also saw athletes have, I don't know whether it was fried rice or I don't know what it was, but I saw athletes have something that looked like fried rice. They had their salad. They also had a burger. Is it called burger? 2 bread and something in the middle.
Sandwich or something like that.
Is it a sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh man, you eat it. I think it's a burger. It's a burger. You know, there was a meat. There was meat in the middle.
Sandwich.
If it's sandwich, just put sandwich. If you put burger, it means
Burger, they have
lot.
different.
Yeah. Sandwich is
There was steak in the middle.
And sandwich.
sandwich.
It was sandwich.
Yeah, sandwich.
It can be sandwich. So it be meat sandwich or something.
Yeah, we have
You
different.
got-
We have salad sandwich.
Is it what? Club sandwich.
Club sandwich. Yeah.
But the meat that was inside was flat. I'm
Charlie,
describing what I
Charlie,
saw.
it
It was
Sandwich.
If it's sandwich,
yeah.
whether
No, but it be steak.
steak.
You have
Okay, it just they won't make you see.
No, I'm
okay,
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 maybe you are not
okay,
getting
okay,
the picture.
okay,
You're not
okay,
getting the
okay.
picture, so I can tell you.
If
it's
don't
steak,
emphasize on the
yeah,
burger
you
thing.
stick way in the middle.
Yeah, okay,
you have-
okay.
So in the evening, that's what I saw. There was a silver plate with soup and there was some meat inside. So and I saw athletes who had small bowl. You pick it. Some of them took the soup. I think it was light soup and some meat inside. They picked that. Along with that, they get rice with salad, and they also get the option to pick the burger, and they have their water and their beverage. And I saw athletes. In fact, I don't want to mention some countries, but I saw an athlete who had burger, he had rice, he had soup, he had salad, and he had the chips, the potato chips.
So, okay.
He had
Fries.
so and there was chicken on top. Yeah. You know. Did I see the chicken?
And one.
Yeah.
Charlie,
One,
you
one.
started
I was
putting
taking on
much,
one.
oh.
No, because the way the guy take the team plate in there, maybe not the chicken, some they hide for someone.
Must I be one?
Yeah, but that's what I saw in the evening. So that's why I'm saying that the picture I saw, because I also tweeted that, look, I was there twice. I was there in the afternoon, I was there in the evening, and I saw the food. So that picture, for me, I didn't experience that on the plates of most of the athletes that I saw. So that's why in my tweet, I also said that it could be a peculiar case.
Yeah.
It could be a peculiar case. It could be a peculiar case. But even if it is peculiar, the point is that no athlete, and that's fundamentally what a lot of people said, and I agree with it, that no athlete, if the food is finished, tell the person it's finished.
Yeah.
But no athlete, regardless of explanation, no athlete must eat that for lunch or whatsoever as a meal. Small portion of beans and plenty rice. That is the thing, the combination.
Yeah.
You know
And should they even get to a point where there's no enough food for the athletes? Because to my knowledge, organizing events like this, I mean, the food is supposed to be there for be chow. Make the athletes
because the comparison is being made with the African Games. And for those who experience the African Games, to be very honest with you, food was not an issue.
I mean, food shouldn't be an issue for
Food wasn't
tournaments
an
like
issue.
this. It's
Yeah.
an
And some say,
international tournament.
maybe it wasn't an issue because, I mean, the budget for the food, I stand to be corrected, but based on what we heard, it was about $50 million for the Africa Games.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying it was bloated.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I say it was bloated.
And fundamentally, food was not an issue.
Yeah.
Food was not an issue.
And it doesn't have to be.
And that is why while we are discussing this championship, the major story was not some
Chicken.
record somebody broke.
One chicken.
Was not some feat somebody chalked. But it was the fact that somebody did not get more than one chicken. It was so embarrassing.
So, yeah.
So embarrassing. Like it
Charlie,
it
you
was
watch
so
the TV like the guy, you get like you cry. You say, hey.
Charlie.
So he said he come the expectations he had.
Yeah.
Charlie, are disappointing. He had disappointed.
And you see,
because he's clearly been to major tournaments,
Yeah.
multiple tournaments. So this was like, why no? If he give you more than one chicken, you know they understand.
You know, and it should
Say,
never
chicken-
happen. Like it
chicken
should
or fish.
absolutely never happen. And maybe that's why the official that you interacted with
Yeah.
was there. Because we had a discussion. I was saying that why should it ever happen that the athlete was going to be served and he says that, oh, I want more than one chicken. And there should be a certain exchange relative to the quantity of chicken he can get.
If he gets
and there
chicken,
should be
he
a
will get
supervisor
fish.
telling, give him.
If you get fish, you will get chicken.
Somebody should be standing there and telling them, that's what he wants. Give him, let him have it.
That's why you are there. You are
And
there
there
for
should
the
be a
A
athlete.
supervisor telling those who are serving the dish that forget about the instruction you be given. The guy say he want 2 chicken. Give him 2 chicken. You don't give him 2 chicken. We'll be all over the world. And everybody will be telling us at Ghana, you come here, you get only 1 chicken. Like it is so petty.
Charlie, that story, international, the athletics pages all the post tweet.
Everybody posted it.
And sometimes, and you see the point, and the reason why you see people like Fencho, Gary Al Smith, Kawawa, and all of them have added their voices to it. You know, Godfred Akotobafo and Michael Oteje. The reason why they've added their voices to it is because some of these individuals, for the career they've had in this space, they've had the opportunity of going for events like this. They've had the opportunity of also interacting with colleague journalists. And the next time they go to a major event like the World Cup and they meet their colleague Nigerian journalists,
Survey chicken back on.
I want to be paid an informal athlete, you know. Because whether you like it or not, that is the story. It's not something, it's not a stain that is on just the organizers.
Yeah, we've
It's a
not even
stain
on Ghana.
all of us.
We've not even come to the timeout. We've not even gotten
so we are
there
dealing
yet.
with
This
the
is food,
Just
just
food,
food.
just
Food.
food.
One. This is just food.
There's a lot of
just
problem.
And there was a Zambian athlete who actually quoted that tweet.
Yeah.
Who quoted that tweet
Yeah.
and said, just because of the food, he said they were being treated like they were in a boarding house, like
Yeah.
secondary school.
Come on, man.
And whether you like it or not, one of the reasons why we decided to host this event is to also create a certain impression in the minds of people, to let people know that when you come to Ghana, you have a wonderful experience.
Yes. To promote tourism.
Exactly.
And mind you, we are trying to make it attractive for the top African athletes to be like enticed to participate in this kind of
Yeah.
championship.
And even the country
Yeah.
to also get the opportunity to host
Host
even
more-
major
more-
events.
yeah,
major
Because
events, yeah.
Just before we hosted this, Botswana hosted the World
World
Relays.
Relays.
World relays, and it was
It's a big
200
deal.
over 10.
World
200 over
Relays.
10.
I mean, the USA was there, Jamaica was there, China was there.
You saw the athletes were tweeting, they're experiencing, they had
Exactly.
fun.
And that's how you sell the
that's
country.
That's what you want.
I Show Speed came to Ghana and he can't stop talking
About
the
Korea.
Korea. He can't
Sabata
stop
experience.
Berima Kofi Akufu. He can't stop talking about
That's,
it.
that's how you sell
understand?
yourself.
These athletes come, they enjoy the meal, they get satisfied. Look, the story will tell itself. Also, per 2 chicken, man, 5. Also, per 2, man, 5. So, oh, please, I want just 2. No, we can give you 5. You go back, you say, Charlie, Ghana, oh no, Ghana people, fine people, Ghana people, nice people. That is part of the reason why we host this event. It's about the experience and the story that is able to go out there. Because, Charlie, the money we are investing to host this thing, nobody's giving us any money. Oh. It's our own money. We understand
like-
40 million
But
Ghana
it's
cities.
the branding. You are doing it because you are thinking of future.
Exactly.
If you're able to do this, you get some other deals that will pump money into your country.
Yeah.
So you make it back.
It's a big deal. You know, it's a big deal. Now, the other issue which also came up, and maybe Penty, you can speak to that because you are the mixed zone.
Yeah.
You are the mixed zone and you got to interact with a number of the athletes.
Athlete, yeah.
It had to do with the timing. What was this all about? Because we saw even a video of after the 100 meters, Joe Paul
And
some of the
athletes
some of the
were-
athletes who were looking on the phone.
telephone day like this and they are watching
The
the
narrative out there was that they were looking for their time, etc., looking for their position. And we've seen the narrative out there that there's been an issue with time, even on the first day, that issue also came up.
Yeah.
You were interacting with the athlete a lot. Tell us, what was the difficulty there?
Okay, so first of all, on the first day, we didn't get a digital board. That was a big problem. The digital board was not working. We asked the director in terms of technical affairs, who is the deputy director at the NSC, Madam Veronica Komi, a question about that. And she said that there was power fluctuations here and there, and it affected them. So they had to keep the power on the second day for them to be able to get the digital board working. The digital board is the one that will show the time as well as also show the seconds and all that thing, those technical stuff that the athletes that are participating.
It even gives an information of the event that's happening.
Very good. So what was working was the big screen. So they had two large screens, and those ones were just artificially fixed. It was on the screen that the stadium originally has. The stadium's original screen has been broken, and you can see, if you're in the stadium, you see it. So that screen is a bit smaller, not that the stadium's original screen, and it is closer to the stands itself. So it is below the seats, right? So you cannot see clearly. So that's what happened. So the athletes couldn't see clearly from the screen. So they had to use their phone to check who really won the race, because it was very, very tight. The 100 meters men's final was really, really close. It was a close call. And the Cameroonian who won the race, it was clear. But the second and third and maybe the fourth position was really, really close. And if you look at the time and the seconds at which it was even declared that Joseph Poama had his fourth position, and also Ghana's Rashid Samin, who was our fastest man heading into this championship, had a seed position in the race. You could see that it was really, really close. Some critics said it was really, really bad because the digital board was not functioning. And it is true. Even though the digital board was on the second day, it was not really functioning.
Yeah.
It was not functioning.
It was not functioning. What is the really? The really, is it
like,
to
no, what I'm
paint
trying
it?
to, yeah, it was not functioning.
So on the first day,
It was not
completely
off. Yes.
In fact, it was not completely off.
Second, it was on small. And the second, it was
off.
it was on small.
The way the LED screens are, I don't know if you see them. So on the first day, it was like half of the screen was showing. And I saw the pictures because I went there on the second day. I saw the pictures on the first day. Half of the screen was working.
Yeah.
When I went there in the morning, about 8:30 I was there. I saw engineers around it. They were working on it. All right. And I think eventually by around 10, 11 there, I could see a desktop screen on it.
Yeah.
You understand? I could see a desktop screen. Meaning to say, I don't know which me aso.
Yeah.
Nah, it me pick picture.
Yeah, pick pictures.
But as the events were going on,
yeah, we couldn't see time.
we couldn't see the kind of information you normally should be seeing. You're on such a board. If somebody breaks a world record, often you see them go stand beside it and they take a picture with it. You understand?
Yeah.
That was not working.
And those are like the basics in athletics competitions. Like those kind of stuff are like the biggest.
Yeah, you
stuff.
have to get
you have
right.
to have to get
No,
those stuff.
and the point is that athletics, especially track events, they're all about time.
Yeah.
You get to know who is first, who is second with the time. And there have to be so much clarity about the time that the athletes do not need to wait 4, 5 minutes, 6 minutes to know where they placed. Because that's how long it took for them to know.
It took really long that the athletes were confused as to who really plays.
Because even at the time,
third or
Paul was granting the interview.
Yeah,
he wasn't sure of his position.
So when we spoke to Paul, he said, "We don't know yet." So he's hopeful of being on the podium or winning a medal. He was still hopeful because it wasn't confirmed as at the time. He was even speaking to the media in the mid zone. So that clearly shows that the time, everything was bad. Getting the time right, technique, and also if you look at it, we didn't get even the shots in terms of the shadow shots that we normally get from major athletics events. So if you go to the Olympics, for example, and also the World Championship, we get a shadow of the athletes that competed, and you could see them crossing the line, whose head or shoulders is above.
And we'll touch on that briefly
close.
because I think
Yeah,
that feeds into broadcasting.
Broadcasting.
I've seen the GTV Academy also do something.
I just see I'm right, I can
They
see
shade-
they
they-
shade
They
GH1.
said that GH1 people said,
Charlie, people- So we'll come into the broadcasting because that is also an issue that has come up. Okay, but still on a technical
And
bit.
even with that,
a few other
I saw a video where one athlete was saying the timer thing doesn't look good on the organizers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was clearly the video was clear. It was like this.
And
it doesn't
the
look
other
good.
issue we also saw,
Doesn't look good.
and I think I saw that in the 400-meter race, was it? There were a number of false starts.
Yes. I think it's because of the noise in the stadium. On the first day, actually, it was really, really bad because there was a lot of people in the stadium. And
the false start also, for some of the false start, it wasn't a case of the athletes doing
The gun.
It was the gun. It was the issue.
Yeah, no. So
what was the challenge there? Because we could see that the gun goes off, and by the time they realize, then they all have to come again, and they have to go and rewire something, then they do some things. What was the problem there?
I think they didn't use a gun this time. If I may be mistaken, but per what I saw, they didn't use a gun this time. It was
electronic.
It was electronic. So the sound wasn't as strong as it should be. So some of the athletes couldn't hear it. And there was singing and drumming in the stands.
But yesterday there was no singing.
Yeah, the media complained about it.
That was on Tuesday.
That was the
But
first
yesterday
day.
there was no singing and drumming. Even in the stadium, there was no singing. It was only the DJ was playing music. And every time they come to do that, DJ goes off. But we saw the 400 meters, whenever they come to start, they said, on your marks, get set. Bah, then they are going to say, hey, all of you come back again. There was an event where they had to do that like
4
twice
times
before they could actually get to start.
Yeah, I mean, on the first day it was worse. On the first day, most of the events, especially the field events or the track events, let me say the track event, had those 4 starts. And it was, some people alluded to the fact that it was due to the noise in the stand. But for it to continue on the second day, it might be a technical issue.
This just shows there was no test runs were made or done prior to the tournament, which is, I mean, it's evident that no test runs were done. And even the vice president of the Ghana Athletics, I saw an interview with Spotty, where he confirmed that they didn't have enough time to do that.
And for him also, he was speaking specifically to one issue that was scary. You were there, the pole vote event.
Yeah, the pole vote.
Where the poles snapped. About 3. Was it 3 or 2?
Yeah, it was 3. The Benin guy had his own snapped, and also the Ivorian. And later on in the afternoon as well, the South African also had his pole snapped in the pole vote event. Yeah. But if you look at it, there were lots of controversies, whether the poles were brought by the athletes themselves or the LOC or the organizers of the event gave them the pole. So if you listen to Bawa Fuseni, who is the president of the Ghana Athletics, who was there and who is part of the organizers, he's made mention of the fact that the athletes brought the polls themselves to the pole vote event. But later on today as well, we heard a different thing from Charles Sesibe
that they were provided by the organizers.
The organizers provided the
So if
polls.
you want to talk about organization, this alone,
because
I think give you an idea of how the organization has gone.
Because
you're the vice president and president.
What often
not on the same
is the case is that when the athletes, the pole vote athletes, are going for events, they often go with their own posts. That's the basic thing. They go with their posts, except that they have to make sure, the organizers have to make sure, go through a certain process of verifying that the posts meet the standards. So one is no heavier than the other, one is no more flexible, there's a certain standard that all the poles must meet. And if they meet that, they're allowed to go. If your pole doesn't meet that standard, then you're asked to find another pole somewhere.
Yeah.
Either you go and borrow or you speak to the organizers to try and find some for you. But the standard is that they all go with their poles.
But I think the best thing is to get your own pole because everybody's weights and sizes are different. Yeah. Because if you look at the Ivorian, he's very tall. If you watch some of these athletes, their stature is different. So if you have your own pole, it fits your own stature as an athlete. It's easier to use because you can't tell me Duplantis will not go into an event with a world record holder in terms of the pole.
Use somebody's pole.
And go and use somebody's pole. No. So I think for this one, I think it's on the athletes because I wouldn't blame the organizers. So people will blame the organizers because they want to find something to say. Everything has been bad, so they will include that one as well. But
no, you have to still blame them because it's also their duty to ensure and make sure that the athletes come along with it. If the information you're getting
that they come with the right
pool. It's also this is their duty.
What I want to say is that it is not the first time in world athletics that somebody is in the pole event and the pole has broken.
Yeah, it's not the first time.
This is not the first time. It
I saw
happens
a video.
everywhere.
Yeah, it happened.
It happens
in the
everywhere.
2012 Olympic Games.
Yes, it happens everywhere. It happens in the Olympics. It happens in the World Championships. So this shouldn't be like a peculiar case that somebody would say that this happened just
I think
in
the
Ghana.
confusion was
It
as to
happens
whether the
everywhere.
polls were provided by the organizers or by the athletes, because a lot of the criticisms would be very legitimate if they were provided by the organizers. Hey, why do you going to bring polls that will snap? But if the athletes were the one who came with it, then I mean, there's very little.
The reason why it's looking bad on us, even though it happens everywhere, is because everywhere that it happens, you won't see people complaining about food and chicken and stuff. So when this one happens, it's like minor stuff.
And also the point that
and there are a lot of
happened
positive
not
stuff
once,
to talk about.
Yeah,
three times, yes. And that's
times. And it was very risky. If you saw the video, you were even close.
Yeah, I was close.
The way that thing snaps, it snapped very close to the guy's stomach.
Do like
Charlie, it could do anything. Yeah, we don't want any chaos. Because the thing, if you see them closely, and I watch one be like that, the way the thing break, the proximity of the thing and the guy's stomach, yeah, dangerous. So
good touch there.
Yeah, Charlie, it's risky.
Why is sure?
But I think if it's like you said, Bafu said, so he's mentioned it at the press briefing yesterday in the evening, or where did he mention it?
I think he was interviewed on Asempa or something.
He
like
mentioned
that.
it.
Yeah, on Asempa.
So then that one there's very little.
But I'm really surprised with this timer issue, the screens, and because when Bauer was in studio 3 weeks ago prior to the event, he said they've contacted some Polish agency and they are into this. They are in charge of all this. So before the event, before the event,
I didn't see that there.
Before the event, all these things will be sorted and
honest,
tested
the guys
and all
we saw
that.
on grounds were largely locals.
Yeah. So
So
it means we would have
the
to
Polish
follow up
people
on
there,
that.
maybe they are on their way.
Maybe so these are things we'll have to follow up after
Maybe
the
on the-
event
they are on their
because
way.
we don't know, maybe some stuff
But-
happened.
yeah.
And all that.
Now,
Because I was
the
very
other
confident.
major issue.
Or they couldn't give them money. They wanted. Yeah.
That is the other major issue, because we have heard, and it is real, that they did not get the funding. In fact, Muftar just tweeted this morning that as at the day the event was starting on Tuesday, they had goose at the airport to clear, and the finance ministry was supposed to, at the very least, facilitate the process by giving tax clearance on these goods. The finance ministry insisted that they are not going to give tax clearance. And as at Tuesday, when the event was starting, the ministry and the organizers were now looking for in excess of 200,000 Ghana cedis to go and clear the goose. Meanwhile, as at Tuesday, when the event was starting, we're hearing that the 40 million cedis budget that had been prepared for this event, the money had not been released. The money had not been released. And this is not a report that has been made up. This is a report that official sources, reliable sources, have confirmed. The money was not released. So the question is that we got the right to host this event in 2024, June of 2024. That's when we got the right. The elections happened 2025, mid-2025 thereabout. Last year, the local organizing committee was put together. They had started working. So they had, let's say, give and take about at least 7 to 8 months to prepare for this event. The Ministry of Finance, everybody knew that, Charlie, this is the event, the budget is this, the money had to be released. We heard Bawa Hussein explaining on Joy FM the process that were now in place.
There's a new layer. So when getting funds has become more hectic and stuff, they have to.
So
wait
even though your budget has
more.
been approved by Parliament,
The
you have to
finance
go through the
ministry,
procurement process, they have to go
long
through
thing.
some commitment committee.
Before it goes to another place, before
You
finally
get the
trickles
money.
down to the sports ministry, then now it gets to them. And that was why he was even saying he's scared for the first time in his professional
That was 3 weeks to the
career.
event too.
He was saying he's scared ahead of the event because the way people have expectation of the event and looking at what happened in the African Games, even though the Africa Games, it had its limitations, but on the whole, it was okay. People were kind of happy with the event, and I mean, people were proud of Ghana, and so hosting an athletics event also in Ghana, the expectation will be there, and he
you
was
see-
scared because or I don't know corner.
And as of
then
3
could
weeks, he
see
made the
that,
point. He
Charlie,
said all equipment, with the exception of financial clearance, as of 3 weeks, they had not gotten financial clearance. And we hear that even as at the time the event was starting, financial clearance had not been given. But the point is that we have decided to host an event. Why then are we delaying with financial clearance? Well, we know that, for this to be successful, the money has to be released. So why should somebody be sitting on the... Have you been a finance minister before?
And I had the budget.
So you can explain to us.
The budget for this tournament was 40 million Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
That's like $4 million.
Yeah.
How
How?
much did we even use for food in the
Alone,
African
yeah.
Games? How much it was for
So
food?
that's what I was
And
saying.
those are
that-
everything, the budget for everything, $4 million. And they are
that is
dragging it.
really bad.
Why?
That is really bad because I think Boa Fusini and the Ghana themselves also they need to do better in terms of budgeting because you have to give them even 4 million. It has to be more than that so that we have to have something called surplus or you have to have surplus. So if emergencies, something that
No,
will
but the
come up,
matter be saying, even before the surplus will come, the main one, they don't release gift.
They don't even release me one.
No,
You
what
think
I'm
of
saying is that
surplus.
if you for budget, the thing to be saying, we don't get
You're
sponsorship.
suspecting that the budget was lower. Is that
It
what
was
you're
lower, like 4 million. You see,
Maybe that's why someone was getting one chicken.
they're even talking about food.
No, but the one chicken one, they don't even release the fan sale food. So imagine.
For me, I think, look, there have to be a higher ministerial engagement to avoid some of these issues when it comes to funding. There have to be a higher ministerial engagement because this is a major event. This is probably the biggest event this government has hosted so far. The biggest event. Africa Senior Athletics Championship is the biggest event. And if you look at the kind of narrative that have surrounded this event, it has been an indictment on the government. It's been an indictment on the government. And I think that is not something the sports minister or even any government official at all anticipated. This kind of narrative surrounding the event, absolutely avoidable. And I think the level of engagement that should have been done and the fans so needed for this event to take place without some of these hitches, it had to happen. Because the minister, as at the time he unveiled the local organizing committee, and I captured in my report prior to the event, he was very clear that that is one of the issues he does not want to happen. As of last year, he does not want ever to be an issues with food. When he was organized, no, he doesn't want any issues with food.
I was even there to cover that.
He doesn't want any issues with logistics. He wants the event to be seamless. And to think that what he was hoping will not happen is what is happening now.
And even
for me,
when the
disappointing.
president was also in studio, he mentioned some of these things, saying some of the during the Africa Games, some of the stuff that happened. It's like he doesn't want it to repeat itself in the Africa Games,
because they've learned their
the
lessons.
athletics
Championship.
competition or championship, because it will look like you've not learnt your lesson. It has
Yeah.
happened. We've spoken about it, and if it repeats itself again, then it will look bad on them because it will clearly look like they've not learned
because
from the mistakes of
very
the
honest
last
with you,
administration
to
or
be very
the
honest
last
with you, when
competition.
The event was last hosted in Cameroon. It was last before Cameroon.
And it
Cameroon
was
hosted
bad.
it. Then we hosted it. And the experience of athletes in Cameroon was really bad. Tobago was in Cameroon. You've
Yeah.
you've seen his interview.
Yeah.
He said, Charlie, it was bad.
Bad.
He said the experience was bad.
And we're trying
Once
to
upon
avoid
a
that.
time, they hosted the event in Nigeria, Asaba.
They said, "Oh,
There was a
they're
Nigerian
worse.
athlete who
Worse.
said, look, there was a Nigerian, was it a journalist or athlete? It was a lady. She said, look, she cannot talk about the Ghana matter because when they hosted it,
What she see
said
for
no.
there, no.
He said
You don't want to
no.
talk because
they don't have any moral rights.
Yes.
to complain.
And you see what that does to the athletes, especially the top athletes, is that if continuously they have such bad experiences,
So they
when
always
they come
ignore
for
us,
the
yeah.
event, they will always ignore us.
Yeah. That is why we've not seen some of our top athletes performing. It's only Toby Amusan who is a world record holder
We see here.
who is here. The others like
The Bogo
Tebogo
and
now
all the others.
the Kenyan guy is not
Manyala
here.
is not
Manyama is not here. All the top athletes, most of them go for the Diamond League instead of coming to the African Championship. Because of this, these are some of the things. Some of them that are here is because they want to improve their time. I spoke to Lee Epi, who is part of the Botswana 4x400 relay team, who won even the 4x400 world relays. He said that he's only here because he wants to improve his personal best. And now he comes here, and the time
The time is not even working.
You get it. The timer that he's going to use to check his personal best to improve before going to the World Championship in Beijing next year is not working.
And that's a problem.
And Fentu made a very good, a very concerning this and that. Even World Athletics can scrap the whole event in terms of time that all the artists has made.
Because you don't have certified times to show that this is what they had
can
each run.
scrap
So
all this
it's useless.
The time that everybody made at this event is useless. Nobody's going to use this time.
And that's
It's just a waste of energy.
Who decided to come and improve their personal best?
It's a waste of energy.
Because
and
it was
time.
done to Cameroon. I heard the tournament, like the times and everything was scrapped because it wasn't taken into consideration because of how things went.
So I think the event is just 5 days. So it's going to end on Saturday?
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
Sunday, or?
It started on Tuesday.
Sunday, 17th.
17th on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Sunday,
Okay.
17th, yeah. So it ends on Sunday.
So it ends on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it ends on Sunday. So they've got about a few days to redeem themselves, and hopefully by the end of the event we'll see. Because somebody invited me to compare this event and the Africa Games. One of the things I was saying was that look, the Africa Games, we are able to do a proper assessment of Africa Games because it has ended now. So you are able to assess it comprehensively after it has ended. And some of the issues we are experiencing now in the African senior athletics, to be very honest with you, we saw similar in the African Games at the beginning. We saw athletes struggling to get equipment. Some of them had to sit in pickups to go to their games, centers. It was chaotic. But as the games progressed, they learned their lessons, they improved. And I think that's what we're likely to see. Now, a few things that maybe we'll wrap it up on the African athletics has to do with the performance of our Ghanaian athletes. It was high hopes on Rashid Saminu, on Joe Paul, especially for the 100 meters, for them to try and have a podium finish. They cannot finish. Fourth for Joe Paul, sixth for Rashid Saminu. Rashid Saminu is our fastest man. At the moment, he's our fastest man, and he came sixth. And Joe Paul, ordinarily, his field is in the 200 meters. You don't often see him even race in the 100 meters. I think even at the world level, he does.
Yeah, but this season, he has really done well in the 100 meters. Yeah, he did it a couple of times for his school. And yeah, he has really, really won a lot of 100 meters this season. So coming to the championship itself, he made it a point to run the 100 meters. So he's going to be very, very competitive in the 200 meters for Ghana. And I think that is where I believe we might get a medal or a podium finish because the 200 meters men category, he is one of the best. And he won gold at the All-African Games as well. So Azamati was supposed to be the one running the 100 meters alongside Rashid Saminu, who unfortunately had a groin injury, so couldn't make it.
But he was there at the stadium.
He was there at the stadium with them. So his phone was the one. I don't want to talk about it, but he
so it was his phone they were using for the VAR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Azamati and Fuseni Ibrahim.
Yeah, Fuseni was there.
Yeah. They were the ones there to support the team.
It's quite interesting that our athletes had a disappointing final, yet no one really seems to care. Because knowing Ghanaians, they would have been concerned that, hey, why are athletes performing so poor? Why are they bad in the final? Or they disappointed us. But you see, now they've come to understand that it's not their fault. You can't really blame them.
I think it's on the back of what they experienced.
Exactly.
At the World Championship.
So everyone's like, they've done well.
That was the scandal just before the African senior athletics. That the boys were complaining that Charlie didn't take good care of us there. He didn't help us. But still, we force qualified.
We've qualified for the World Championships. Yeah.
So you take them easy. So as they come here where they not perform, you check like you don't go feel bash up too much. Like. So go Charlie, you check like you that thing.
As the organization of the tournament,
but I see some people when they blast them say, "Hey, why the casa say why then I'm
those people that are criticizing them is because of a personal beef they have.
Yeah, sure.
Do some of that because I know we also what happened on X when Rashid Saminu came to teach and some of these sports journalists and other people.
Genuinely, I don't believe even they were 7 to. I don't blame them. They've done their best, Charlie.
Because if you look at
what they can do,
these athletes, right? They have been going through a lot. You've not given them the support needed, and also the preparations towards this event itself. It hasn't been the best. If you look at the likes of Edwin Gadayi, we saw how he was flown into Botswana to go and raise the world relay. He has to take a car from Kumasi, then take Okada from Isawam to Accra. You get it.
And mind you, some of them also have the world championships at the back of their head.
So
they are not coming here to risk
Yeah.
Look at this tournament you're
But
organizing.
the
You
point
think
is,
they'll
like,
risk
if-
themselves and
no,
get
but
injured?
just on that point, if you are not here to risk, if you don't want to risk,
Then
going,
don't,
then
don't,
don't
don't,
come.
don't,
Yeah,
don't come and
but-
If you-
participate.
yeah, then
I'm
don't
just,
come.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
But
just
that-
saying.
If
Yeah,
that's- yeah, then don't
That,
come.
that shouldn't be an excuse.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying.
But I just hope that in the
But they
coming,
You can't blame
why
them.
did-
You
why-
can't blame them.
Because there was also a conversation about the women. That why couldn't we get athletes to represent Ghana, like top level athletes? And
okay,
we
so
had to rely on the what do you call it?
the high school,
Because there was a lady.
She was
who-
clearly there for
There
experience.
was a lady
so-
who
Yvonne?
was it 400 meters?
Yvonne?
Yeah, Yvonne.
No.
You spoke to her, right?
Yeah,
She
so-
said she had a paper. She had a
okay, that
orals.
is the Aisha to Jafata.
She had orals.
She's a
so she had to go and write it.
Odobuni-
And just when she
Odobuni,
was
yeah.
done with the paper, she took a flight back to Accra to come and.
Yeah,
Right
that is
for Ghana.
Odobuni girl. She's from TI Amas, and she had to compete in this because we don't have a lot of female athletes coming down to Ghana to compete. But she did so well. In my opinion, she competed with one of the best athletes in terms of female athletes on the continent, and even some are the best in the world when it comes to 100 meters races. And she competed with them. She did so well. But she's also writing WASI. She's a final year student of TI Amas. So it's really, really poor
I think it was a good
in terms
exposure
of.
for them, to be honest.
But
It
it's,
was
it's
good
poor on Ghana. You see, it's poor on Ghana. And on our part, we shouldn't be throwing these young athletes into the field just like that.
But if
No,
you
no,
don't,
no,
if
no,
you
no. I
show-
disagree with that. It's part of the preparations. I mean,
But
they
you
have
see, you are
to.
training
You have
them
to
there-
let them gain
Look,
this kind of experiences,
you see-
exposure.
You see, you're
Exposure.
putting the. Okay, it's a good exposure.
Because no one expects them to like
It's a
go and
good-
win or just
it's a good
participate.
exposure for
Yeah,
them. But
it's
in terms of the learning curve, imagine she's competing with someone who is better than her. And they have like, she's learning from somebody who is also competing, like a Ghanaian. Like, we know a lady competed, Huloti or something, that's her name. I forgotten like the full name or something. But she one of those athletes that we know that, okay, these are athletes that are at the top level. Then we add these ladies to them, the young ones coming up too.
But they were not available. The point is that it's not a case, you had this senior.
It's because we
female
don't.
athlete.
Yes, it's
They were
because
not
we don't
available.
organize our things well. That's why they're not available. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to arrive at is that we haven't been able to put our house together to be able to get some of these athletes because then again, you're not giving them the right services. You're not the ones sponsoring their education. They are outside. The reason why they're not here is because they're in various colleges in the US.
And they are
who-
engaged in competition.
who are engaging, who will not allow them to come and perform in the first place. That's what I want to say. They will not allow them to come and perform
Yeah,
because
they are-
everyone's taking care of them. So if you don't build yourself to that level, we'll have Odobini leave Ghana and get a scholarship outside, and she'll not be able to come back here.
So even the ones you are giving opportunity today
You-
might end up going there.
Yes, they're not
and
come
the
back.
story will repeat.
That is
You
what
don't
I'm
have
saying.
them available for such competitions.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to arrive at. That
Yeah.
we haven't put in
And-
measures in place to get this.
And whether we like it or not, all of this adds to the publicity because that's one of the major challenges. The stands are almost always empty. And people complain that, Charlie, the publicity was not there. The publicity was not there. How many people heard about the fact that we're having such a championship? We're doing the opening ceremony and it was empty seats. And every day is empty seats. And if you look at the atmosphere that we had at the African Games at the University of Ghana Stadium, people were expecting that at least we'll have a similar atmosphere. And that feeds into the publicity. And I think a lot could have been done in the publicity. Even the coverage of the event, there are questions about the quality of the coverage, okay? The questions about the quality of the coverage, even some of the angles that have been picked, and you were talking about when they finished, all right, and the pictures that were getting, they had the opportunity to see were not clear enough even to tell. So, I mean, I'm not sure when we can learn and when the next time we'll get an opportunity to host this, but this is a major lesson for us. This is a major lesson for us, a major lesson for us. Yeah, I mean, an X, that has also been a concern. Why do we are not getting
I
updates
checked
on X?
the Ghana Athletics page.
Yeah.
Their last update was like a week ago.
Yeah,
Can you
I mean,
imagine.
and if you go to
You're hosting
Facebook,
a
they're
whole
active on
tournament.
Facebook, they're active on Instagram.
Instagram.
I've been checking them, but for X, for some strange reason, I don't know whether they bought Elon Musk or something. They don't. I don't know what the issue is, but fundamentally, that's it. So, what's the other major event that's coming up?
We have the 4x100.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, last night we had a 4x400 mixed relay.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun. We saw this young athletes that are talking about, a high school student doing so well. Avita was there, Odobuni. They pulled their strengths.
But they have interesting names.
Yeah. Gaza.
I mean, Aviator is on Sakabe, right? Yeah, child, aviator. Just say, oh,
Aviator,
two on.
oh,
Baby
two.
jet, mister. Baby jet level.
Yeah, O2. And they did so. For me, they didn't win the race or they didn't finish in them podium places or anything like that. But they did so in terms of the competition. They
So
were
if Ghana
fought.
will win a medal in this competition, which event will it be?
I think the 200 men's. Yeah, 200. But the 200 is even difficult because now the guys from Botswana, we know they are the best in the world at the moment. You know, Tebogo is the best in the world in terms of the 200 men. So Tebogo's colleagues are here.
I'm confident.
But
I'm
let's-
confident.
but
I think
Kwame-
I think we can get.
What about the
a
4 by
medal.
100?
Yeah, we'll get-
Can't we do something?
4x100 is our strongest. You know, that is where we are good at. And medal is possible. You know, we are either third, second, or first. In terms of even the world at the moment, we were second at the world release for us to qualify. So
But
we
I
can
think,
do
I
it.
think we'll finish. We'll get a podium finish in one of these events, the 4x100 and the 200 meters. So yeah.
Okay, great.
More
well,
vim.
Of Vim, we'll see. Finally, when the event conclude, we'll get to talk more about it.